Hello and welcome back to this continuing series on Ketu and Rahu through the Rasis, also known as the signs. Today we're going to be talking about Ketu's placement in Gemini and Rahu's placement in Sagittarius. Before we get started on this though, if you'd like to know more about the placement of the nodes in your own particular horoscope and how it relates to the overall life path as indicated by your horoscope, I do offer a range of consultations through my website known as the Intensive Consultation, and these contain a complete karmic analysis which does a thorough examination of Ketu and Rahu in the horoscope and what it means for you in particular. And if you're interested in scheduling this consultation with me before 10:45 p.m. London time tonight, the 20th of June, there is a discount available to you of 10% off the scheduling fee, but you have to take advantage of that by 10:45 p.m. London time tonight using the discount code INTENSIVE, which is listed above. So Ketu in Gemini, what is that all about? Well, Ketu in Gemini will have a particular way of relating to life through ideas or through one's intelligence, right? Wherever Ketu is placed in the horoscope, there is generally what I like to call the security paradigm. We like to feel comfortable in our skin as we're kind of navigating this confusing journey of consciousness. We like to feel like we have an idea of what life is really all about. And Ketu develops these ideas through its intelligence. It will come up with a concept. Generally, it will have an objective way of looking at a situation. But you see, every time there is an object, there is the individual that is seeing that object. So the very concept of this particular method of relating to life contains within itself a duality, right? So if you have an idea that things in life work this way, then there's also the contrasting idea, which is that things in life don't work that way at all. So there's never really a sense of knowing or a sense of fully understanding. There is only the concept or the idea of knowledge itself. And so it's an incomplete paradigm, and it's one in which the individual will always have a certain lingering sense of doubt. But we don't like to approach life from a doubtful perspective. We like to be able to feel that we understand things. So generally these people will be the last to really kind of admit that they don't know something, because they want to feel comfortable within their own thought processes. They want to feel comfortable with their ideas that they really, on a certain level, know something, right? But inside of themselves, there's always this lingering doubt. So if you present information to these people, quite often what will happen is they will go, well, I don't really know about that, right? And they'll perhaps deny your ideas or your thoughts about something until and unless they go away from the discussion and kind of chew over that idea within their mind. And if it holds any meaning for them in particular, then they'll perhaps go, wow, that's actually something that I can grasp onto now. But again, there's that sense of dualism, right? They've associated with you, they've taken the information in, they've made the information on a certain level a part of them, but then there is always the presupposition that, like, you know, what if that information is faulty and that information is wrong? Equally, Ketu and Gemini, with Ketu being in a mercurial sign, there's always this tendency to feel on a certain level that if I want this area of my life to go well, and that area of life is always going to be associated by what house is in Gemini, but if I want this area of my life to go well, I have to follow certain rules. So they come from a past or from a background of following a set of guidelines leads to a specific outcome. And that set of guidelines is based upon their analytical capacity to take information in and to really try to, look at it through their intelligence, right? But again, this doesn't lend much weight to the concept of belief or really knowing something, which is much more of a subjective way of going through life. And that's where Sagittarius comes into the equation, right? Before we set off on a journey, we need to feel like we know where we're going, like we have a direction, right? And Rahu and Sagittarius will take that information, that doubt that's lingering through Ketu and Gemini, and want to test it out. But in order to test it out, it has to have that presupposition, right? Or that idea that Gemini has, so that it can go, okay, well, I want to test this out and see if this idea, if this knowledge is in reality somehow wisdom, right? But there's always a problem with that, because if you remember with Ketu and Gemini, there's the duality. So as the person is experiencing the Rahu and Sagittarius side of the equation, they begin to find that some of the things that they thought they knew, they didn't really know at all. And so it becomes this thing of the rule book somehow needing to get thrown out the window so that a different way of relating to the world can be taken in and understood, because this is all about the subjective understanding of things. What is there that goes beyond my ideas, right? Do my ideas hold water? Sure, some of them might, but some of them are just going to be completely, fallible and have no connection with reality at all. So Rahu in a Jupiter-associated sign will always need to connect to a sense of purpose, right? So when they connect to that sense of purpose through Rahu and Sagittarius, they then begin to go, this is something I believe in wholeheartedly. Since I believe in this wholeheartedly, then rules, who needs rules? Who needs guidelines? Who needs ideas or standards that come from society or my boss or my friends or anybody else for that matter, right? If it doesn't come from me and my own unique purpose and way of relating to life, then it's, not worth really kind of tossing over. And whilst that works on a certain level, we don't want to get rid of everybody else's ideas in life, right? Because sometimes people actually have good advice to offer us and good ideas to bring our way, right? And if we completely ignore those things, then we shut out another perspective on life. So with the nodes, always, it's a matter of balancing things out. You don't want to swing from one end of the spectrum to the other. You don't want to go completely in the realm of Rahu and Sagittarius, which is going my way or the highway, and I'm just going to ignore every other idea. But you also don't want to go through life doubting every single thing and just looking at things intellectually, right? I think, therefore I am. Well, what are you when you don't think? Do you cease to exist, right? So you got to find a balance between those two different factors, between the concept of ideas or knowledge and the concept of wisdom. Is this a path that's ever complete? Well, really, on a certain level with the nodes, it's never a path that's fully complete. With Rahu and Sagittarius, though, there's quite often, on a certain level, a reluctance to embark upon that path. Sagittarius, being the 9th natural equal house of the horoscope, right, because Sagittarius is the 9th sign, is the 12th from the 10th. The 10th is the highest position in the sky. The 12th from that signifies a fall from a height. So in crossing the gulf from concepts to belief and utter faith in one's beliefs, there's always the fear of failure and things collapsing. So these people, through Rahu and Sagittarius, once they begin to develop a sense of faith or a sense of belief, they'll be almost fanatical in that belief because there's a need for them to do so they can feel like they're not going to fall from a height, or like they're not going to find out that their beliefs are faulty, right? And so it becomes a thing of balancing out, testing one's beliefs, but equally not overly analyzing one's beliefs. True wisdom comes from the heart. It doesn't come from pure rationale or from intellect. And this is something that Ketu and Gemini and Rahu and Sagittarius is really needing to learn. And again, if you'd like to know more about what the nodes represent in your particular horoscope, including the houses they're placed in, what you're needing to learn through this particular placement in your horoscope, I recommend scheduling one of the intensive consultations from the Astrological Services page of my website. And if you schedule it, again, before 10:45 p.m. London time tonight, the 20th of June, there is a 10% discount available to you using the discount code listed above, which is intensive. Thanks for watching this video on Ketu and Gemini and Rahu and Sagittarius. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.